You good? Yeah. I'm great.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. All right, let's everybody stare in this direction when Kate comes in. Come on. Yes, get up and involved. Yeah, do that, do that.
I talked too much, y'all. Margie, you're in here too, girl. I know, she's like, no, don't mind me. Don't mind me. Here, let's put this back. I'm just going to deal with it. How y'all doing? It's Wednesday! It's Wednesday!
Are we gonna do the video? What's on the video?
You know what? I did one about to too. Get double the views, you know what I'm saying? Let me give y'all, I'll stand, y'all sit. We're gonna let Ludwin interview us. Should I need to use a microphone?
For video?
For video?
Yeah, I did one of mine.
Okay,
We'll share.
Yeah, we'll share.
does it work? Y'all wanna hear me rap?
Yes, please.
Go ahead, Hector.
Oh,
Drop the beat.
y'all don't know I'm from South Florida. I will drop the hit, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm just gonna pull up my questions real fast so I don't mess them up. Okay.
I'm gonna pull my answers.
Thank y'all for being here today. Are you so excited? I am. Who knows? Well, while I'm pulling these up, Ludwin, Margie Flores, or should we say Margie and Ludwin Flores? You know, we're gonna go this way. So, I think most of the folks, thank you, most of the beautiful agents in here, y'all know them. But if not, can you go ahead and just give us a little introduction, tell us a little bit about yourselves for also to anyone that's going to be watching the video. They know we didn't just find two strangers on the street that looked
But
nice.
you did. All right, so I'm Ludwin Flores, husband and wife team. Started with KW back in, almost 6 years now, 2015. Started a single agent and then figured I was going to convince my wife one day to join the team, right? And so she finally said yes, after she said yes. And so we're here, top 20%, part of the ALC. I think she got inducted last ALC meeting last time as well, so woohoo!
Right. So Margie, how long have y'all been husband-wife team?
So he became a single agent. He tried doing it by himself, and he was just so
Trying.
messy.
Trying.
And I was looking at all his files and all his folders just thrown around the house. I just had to organize it, right? So I became an honorary admin. And so about 4 years ago, I just started doing all his contracts and just keeping all his folders all together. Back when Dotloop was a thing, and emailing NCA and all that stuff. Just organizing. Oh, sorry. And so I would mainly try to do all his contracts. So I feel like I already knew a lot of the people here also because I was always tagging along to all his meetings. So, so the KW always felt like home.
It's okay. We will have lunch after this too. In case you're wondering, that's why I come,
Yeah, and so with all that being said, we have, for those of you that haven't seen our social media, all right, how many kids do we have? 4, right? And so she homeschooled them, traditionally homeschooled them while I started this career, and so she was busier than I was throughout the entire process. So, kudos to her. She worked harder than me. You say.
So I love that's perfect transition actually. So who here? So I probably should start. This is our social media class. We're titled it Getting Social. So this is our first part, and then our second part will be with Dana. And so the main goal and objective of this class is to help give you ideas of folks that are working on social media, using social media for their business to leverage it, to get leads, to help follow up with leads. And the answer is, like everything in real estate is, it just depends. There's no one thing like go do this every single time. Every person is a little bit different as to how they use social media, what social media they use, what's been successful for them. So the goal is to give you a couple of ideas of, hey, these are people that are using social media. This is how they use it because their lifestyle is X. So my lifestyle, if you don't know, I live out on a little ranchette, And so we have cows and horses and chickens and all that stuff. And so we market to that group, and that's what just works for us. So it may not be for everybody, especially if you live in Colleyville. It's probably not the best, strategy for you. So we're going to dive into basically how they develop their strategy, because obviously they're busy with 4 kids at home. Margie's was homeschooling. So if you feel like your life is a little crazy and hectic, it's like, how can I do this? Hopefully through this series, it'll give you an idea of how they came up with theirs, what they're doing, how they use it, and how it's benefited their business. And then you can hopefully go back and reflect and say, hey, I come from a background in hotels. What are some things that I know? Well, I know about ways to, give great customer service, or top places to visit, or things to do. And social media isn't necessarily about just sold this house, just sold that house, put this under contract. Folks want to relate with you personally. It's called social media. So most of the time, and they're probably going to be sharing, most of the time it's probably personal items and experiences, but that's the main goal, is to attract the client and then engage. Not because, who sees, an insurance agent just got this person with their auto insurance, and all they ever,
go.
yeah, right, I know, I almost did it, but just talk about auto insurance all the time. Eventually you'd probably just mute them out if you just got auto insurance. You don't need auto insurance, right? But if they stayed in front of you and they had cute kids and all this stuff, and you related them on a whole different level, then by the time it came for you to maybe get a new car, oh my gosh, I think that person does it. I'm going to call them, because they stayed in touch with you personally, and whenever it came time for business, now they're ready to engage. So that's going to be the goal of these series, and so that's kind of what we're going to be going over today. So I do apologize, all my high Ds, that's why we're here. Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. You have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. I feel like I know them. And that's what people want to do, is they want to feel they know you. So tell us, how have you, or how did you prospect in the past, and how has it led to social media, and what you do, how you do it? Tell us about that.
So I'll start with what we used to do. Just like everyone else, right? You open houses when open houses was a thing. Remember those days, right?
Yeah.
So open houses, right, was primarily my number one source of lead generating when I first started, just like many of us was. Door knocking. I did do some cold calling as well. I tried it all. The ones that became more intentional was the open houses, and the more of the let's get to know the individual person one-to-one, right? Like our sphere of influence. Before that was a thing. Now, a little bit of a testimony over here. When I first started, I was too busy to go to classes, by the way. So for those of you online, just saying. Nice kidding. But, and then I figured out along the way, like, okay, I need to get something a little bit more in depth, so I partner up with my partner over here. And we started changing all that stuff. We're like, okay, fine, we got the open houses. How can we improve that? We have the sphere of influence. How can we improve that? We have some of the cold calling. How can we improve that?
Part of that, like the door knocking, so we went, we used to live in Harmon Ridge, and we took all the kids, we got them the little door signs that American Home Shield used to put in, used to give out, and we used to slide in our business cards, and we used to have them just take their bikes out and just run. Go run and put 10 of these on each door. And we'd watch them, and we'd take pictures, and we'd post on Facebook, and people would be like, oh, that's so cute, I've seen your kid around the neighborhood, or stuff like that. So I
So everyone's scared to door knock.
Yeah.
Send your kid.
Yeah, I'm scared of door
Leverage.
knocking, so I just take the kids out, and I'm like, they're the ones that usually put stuff on people's doors for me. And people are really nice when they see your kid, they'll just come up and go, oh, Cindy, let me see what you have, and they'll just take it from them and start sort of them a conversation. So the kids have been a huge icebreaker, especially for me, since I'm more like the shy one.
She's really not.
Yeah, she's really not now.
Oh, that's it. But yeah, and then, but that started, I think, social media, just started posting a little bit about real estate, and mainly the kids just showing them, oh, these are our door knockers and Popeyes, we started posting pictures of our Popeyes, and then years ago, when listings used to stay on the market for 2-3 weeks or a month sometimes. So I remember we started probably doing Facebook boosts, like boosting like a post. And I remember every time I would actually boost a picture, like we would get more showings all of a sudden. Or if I would share that post into different groups, we would all of a sudden get a bigger spike in showings. So I started doing that. And then we started doing on our Facebook business page, we started creating actual events. Every time we hosted an open house, I would create an actual event on our business page showing, tracking what we're actually doing. Maybe doing a Facebook Live prior to that, say, hey, we're going to be here this weekend, and actually sharing that on all the groups, like as many groups. Like Ludwin is, I had him on like at least 100 groups all throughout the DFW area, and I just
Probably
shared.
got kicked off 50.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not supposed to post on business on Mondays or other rules.
Too bad.
But
So just do it. So the point, just do it. Don't worry about the
I'll
rules.
just do it. And then so I just copy paste the same post 100 times, and yeah, probably spam to who knows how many people. But it gets a lot of showing, like views, and it just puts you out there. I think it's more brand recognition.
Mind share first, market share second.
So we've done that, and then COVID hit, and everything changed, right? So everything turned more of a. Sorry, am I skipping ahead?
You're good. Well, we were going to go into, you're good, of what types of social media do you market on and why? So it sounds like that's where you're going.
Okay. So ever since COVID, we started, like TikTok became famous during quarantine, right? So we started doing TikTok videos, and that was fun. And as soon as we got out of quarantine, everyone was like, oh my gosh, I loved watching your TikTok videos. And I love seeing all your dance. So everyone's like, when are you going to do your next one? So we were like, okay guys, let's just do one a week.
Yeah, we were actually pretty surprised on who was actually watching. Like we still get stopped sometimes, either at church or just at a gathering. And it's like, oh, I love your videos and things like that. I'm like, who are you? Like seriously, like I know, like I recognize you. Your face looks familiar, things like that. And I'm like, oh, awesome. And then turns out like they followed us on either Facebook or TikTok or a combination of both. And I'm like, oh, okay, we actually have sort of a following now, and so that kind of evolved. But we honestly didn't start that until COVID hit. I mean, what else did we do? There was nothing else. I mean, we were at home, we were prospecting, calling, things like that. But the only thing that we can do is just be online. And so we figured, you know what, let's just do something.
So why did y'all, so you were in quarantine, need to be on, why did you say we're going to start using TikTok?
Which is something fun. I didn't really think anything was going to come out of it. We just mainly did it for the fun, and the kids loved it, and keeping the kids entertained. And they were actually the ones that are constantly scrolling. And the kids already know how to save, so they have their whole little list of saved TikToks that they want to do. And so they're like, okay, let's do this one this weekend. So it's pretty easy.
For you. Okay, so you specifically went on TikTok because you were paying attention to what was going on in the online world and utilizing your resources again of the kids and started making those and posting them. So tell us how did you start, once we got out of quarantine, how did you start tracking, people that are viewing? Did it help increase your business? Where did you start? You started seeing mind share. Have you started seeing market share yet? How has that impacted your business?
I'll talk to the numbers.
Yeah.
Hi, C. Hello. All right. So we really started tracking the numbers when we started actually seeing progress, and that was really towards the end of last year. Like we started with the whole when the quarantine hit. Obviously, it's not like we could have gone down and said, "Hey, did you watch my video?" Right? It's like we were like, "Did you watch?" Like 6 feet apart, type of deal. And then towards the end of last year, when we started kind of getting back together again, that's when we started hearing, oh, I love those videos. Oh, I watched that video. Oh, hey, by the way, I referred you out to XY person. I referred you out to this. Oh, my mother, like things like that. And then these were people that, again, we did not have them in our database. We knew them from social circles, right? Like just we knew them from church, or we knew them from a group, or something along those lines. And we started kind of like, all right, obviously something's going on. So the tracking specifically, so we were like, okay, Facebook. We were a little bit more engaged in our Facebook advertisements than I've seen some people do. And so in Facebook, you can actually track visibility, clicks. I mean, you can you can see just like in command, like your dollar per click, if you will.
He downloads everything into an Excel sheet, so he makes sure he tracks every dollar I spend on Facebook ads.
Yeah, I do. So like I track.
So
it.
does Margie post the Facebook ads?
Yes.
Okay, well,
so she
we'll have to
designed-
pause on that because are y'all gonna want to know what she posts, how she does the ads?
Yeah.
But we're gonna pause.
Yeah, so she designs it, she comes up with the logo, she comes up with the theme, and I just track to see if it's working or not. Like you can put a set amount of dollars towards that ad, but then if it's not working or doing something, you can just stop it and just move on to the next. And so we started seeing certain things, like right now, tracking wise,
We doubled our database.
we doubled our database in the past 7 months, right? And just Facebook social media. And so we have right now actively like prospecting, like besides the people that end up clicking and they're like, nah, I never clicked on this, whatever. You have to put your name and phone number and email address, by the way. Like obviously you were intentional, right, in doing that. But we doubled our database. We've actually gotten at least when I tracked it yesterday.
In the past 7 months, we've gotten at least like almost 20 actual clients, like
Working
closed
clients.
working clients. We have about 270 that are scrubbed clean leads. Like out of all the ones that we've gotten,
They're
there's
not
like
ready yet.
they're not ready yet, but we're
So pipeline.
Like,
Yeah,
they're
our
pipeline,
pipeline.
they're talking. We have some on like hot prospects, some on nurtures, and some just keep calling, right? But everything else we've trashed, but we have at least like 276 from the past 6 months that we've just been like cleaning out.
Now, were these from Facebook ads?
Those are just Facebook ads.
Okay, and what type of Facebook ads are you posting?
So we were posting a lot through the beginning, more just like listings. So either our listings or pictures of like new construction homes, like I'll just download them off MLS. Or like if it's a builder, I'll just take them from their website. If it's a listing, I ask that one of our listings or someone else's from our office, I'll ask them, hey, can I advertise your listing? And I'll just take a picture, like the prettiest picture, and I'll just post it on Facebook ads, say, welcome to your dream home, or come let's schedule a tour, or something that's catchy, right? And Facebook lets you have like a lead form, so you request and require that they fill in their name, their phone number, their email. So if they want more information, they have to fill in those 3 items. So that immediately gets downloaded into our CRM, and you can immediately call them. So we get a text message when it comes in, and I just call them. And we have in our CRM as soon as they fill out the form, they get instantly thrown into our action plan. So they get thrown into our drip campaign, they get text message of the house, they get an email of the house, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And do you friend them on your Facebook so they can
Yeah,
start
so
getting to
then
know
we start stalking.
Yeah.
I'm a huge stalker, so anyone that comes through that we meet, whether outside, open house, or Facebooks, I immediately start stalking them, and I friend request them, I send them a Facebook message saying, hi, it looks like you had shown interest on one of our houses, I'd love to be a friend, and show you around, and just because sometimes some people are like, who is this person that's friend requesting me, so I send them a message.
So if I would say that, right, like, do you want to be my friend? That just comes out weird, right? But when it comes from her or just someone like in a position like, okay, yes, then it makes more sense. So
Well, I'm so nicer. So I just like, I send a picture with us. I already have a pre-made picture of us smiling, and it says, hi, we're the Flores. We'd love to help you serve in your dream home and stuff like that. So I send the picture out. I send some verbiage. I'm like, we'd love to add you to our Popeyes, like our VIP mailers. I love
So
to
you're making deposits before you ever ask for a withdrawal.
Yeah.
And you can talk about that in bold.
yeah.
I hunt
Is-
them, like I stalk them on Realist to make sure, does this person have a house? So I try to narrow it down. If they do have a house, then I immediately go and send a Popeye to their house. So I'm like crazy stuff.
When do you find the time?
Yeah. But it works.
And you don't have to do all of these, but these are things that she does. So it's like, for example, how many of us have went into you can go into the tax records and you can literally look at who owns the homes and just say in the street in front of you and the street behind you in your street. You should be friends with all of them on Facebook. Every single one. You go in the tax record, find their name, search their name on Facebook, add as a friend. And then when they accept it, add another step and say, hey, just wanted to let you know I'm your neighbor. It's a Facebook way of door knocking, kind of. Hey, I just added you as a friend, you are a neighbor, and case you ever need anything, I'm just a block away.
Awesome. I did have a question. Whenever you, when you're friending people, since you're doing the ads, is it your business page you're friending them, or is it your personal?
Personal.
Because business doesn't have friends.
Okay, I do everything personal, that's what I did, okay.
Yes, so probably start from your personal page, have a business page, but would you say most of your leads come from your personal page, or I guess depending on your ads, your business?
Well,
ad?
the ads are posted from the business page, and then you friend request them from your personal page. It's a little tricky.
So there's a little bit of like consistency that you need to have from business and personal. So that way, like if you see our, my name is not common, right? Like Ludwin, like you'll know like Ludwin Group, things like that, and you see a friend request from Ludwin, it makes sense, right? So if you do have a business page, just make sure that it kind of makes sense to your personal page, right? Like the pictures, the photos, the logos, things like that. Like if you have a picture of you skydiving in your personal, okay, but in your business is all profession, like all attire and like nothing fun, they're not gonna know. They're like, okay, I think this looks, familiar, I don't know. Right? And you probably end up like deleting yours.
So how do you engage in, because we're kind of talking about this, how do you engage buyers, sellers, both? So we talked about you make Facebook ads that are posted from your business page. That starts generating some leads. You create the post, Ludwin, it sounds like you track it, see how it's doing. About how much money would you say on average you usually spend on one post?
Or like if we're just posting like a listing, like since they don't really last that long, it doesn't really take I don't post it for too long. So nowadays I only do a Facebook ad for like 3 or 4 days. As opposed to ages ago, it would have been like 10 days.
Ages ago. Yeah.
Ages. 4 days.
4 days.
So 3 or 4 days and maybe $10 boost on a listing. But now we're actually trying to like advertise the sellers. So I do maybe $50 or $100 for 10 days. So that's like $10 a day. So with Facebook, that should give you like a visibility of at least 300 people per day. But then sometimes I do more. We're just trying to keep a little longer.
So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like you use your business page and these boost ads. So basically that's your bait that you throw out. But then once you start getting them, then you basically keep them through your personal page because you'll start adding them, and that way you can use that personal to leverage and keep up with that person.
Yep.
Is that correct? Everyone catch that? Okay. So what are so we said you'll post listings, anything creative or anything that's worked well in the past to maybe engage. I think right now folks are looking for listings. So if you have anything successful that helped maybe get some seller leads.
So the seller leads that's been working so far has been like the iBuyer stuff, but sort of like advertising. Do you need help sorting all your instant offers? Like.
So obviously we all know Redfin, Open Door, blah blah blah, things like that, right? So we're actually offering ourselves as iBuyer consultants. So we're able to, the advertiser basically is like, have you received more than one iBuyer offer or instant offer? We can help you negotiate which one is best for you. All right, so that's the hook. Like not about like sell with me or anything like that. Let's just have a conversation. Let me help you figure out which one of these, is it Open Door, Zillow, things like that, is best for you and your family. Obviously, if they say yes, they have like, oh yeah, come on over. I'm like, well, by the way, we can also do this. But whatever,
You'll say that when you're there.
I'll say that when I'm there, right? Because I'm prepared.
Yeah, so that's where I've been like doing little pictures of like a person like trying to figure out what their options are, and I'll put like Open Door, Redfin, Zillow,
Question mark. I don't know.
question mark, and then put traditional realtor, concierge real estate, instant offers, and then having like a little question what do I do? And then just like, we can help you sort out your options.
So you're speaking to a need. Because right now, would anyone say that if someone wants to sell their home, finding a buyer is not their need? I think they have a buyer pretty easily. So if we say, hey, I can find a buyer for your home, or I can get you multiple offers for your home, they're like, great, I already did. So what is the need? And ask yourself maybe where you are, or the group that you're in, or neighborhood that you prospect, what is their greatest need? If you weren't a realtor, I always say take off your realtor hat. Do not be a real estate agent. If you lived in your house and say you did something totally different, you worked at Sephora, honey, I don't know. You did something different, but you owned a home. What would you want to know? What problem are you having? I know us, we're kind of similar. We have even a couple investment properties. I get an instant cash offer piece of mail almost weekly. And so eventually, even if I'm not thinking about it, if I get hit over and over and I start seeing, well, my instant offer was at $265 and it went up to $275, and oh my gosh, they just offered me $300 in a month. You know, like what's going on? Even if I wasn't thinking about selling, I'm really curious as to what's going on. So what would I want to know? I might want to know, is this cash offer real? What hidden fees do I have? What if I want to move? I don't even think I want to, but if I did, do I even have an idea of where my house would sell, what the market looks like? I don't want 100 people through my home, but I do want 100,000 over what I paid for it. So start thinking about what are those questions that they might have. We still have the protesting right now of taxes because they've gone skyrocketing. Do you have, do you have an older clientele or more mature clientele that doesn't know how to file their property taxes online? Can you help them with that? And it may not be a listing right now, but you help them. And oh, by the way, now you follow on personal page, and now your personal page does that nurturing for you, because who has time to call somebody every single day? You might be thinking about them, but you need that personal page. And so that's where the TikTok videos come, because now they've captured them, and now these videos are going out to everybody and they're very personable.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When you said that you, every time somebody goes to your Facebook page, you capture their email and information, do you do that through command?
No, we don't use command.
And how do you do that? Because I don't know how to do it through command.
So Facebook does, no, I create my Facebook ads directly on Facebook. I don't use the command,
Okay.
because command is a little tricky. So Facebook, you just go to the Facebook ads and it says, it says what type of ads do you want? It says lead generate or lead form. And it has a whole little questionnaire, what do you want it to have? Full name, phone number, email, and you just press required, those little tabs. That should be it.
So it will walk you through whenever you
It
go
will
on
walk
the
you
face.
through really easily.
Thank you.
So next question, have you seen, well, I guess we kind of talked about this, have you seen a change in your business since you started using social media? If so, what types? Where are you all at with that?
We're a lot more referral heavy this year, and I think it's mainly because we're staying top of mind. So we use also Facebook for even birthdays. So every month or towards the end of the month, I go on Facebook and those little birthday updates that you get. I actually go and I stalk everyone, all my friends and all my potential clients.
Being intentional.
But I go to my upcoming birthdays and I look through all of my months, and I actually download them and I write them into my Excel sheet, and I have all my, every month I send out a stack of birthday cards to everyone that has. And if I don't have their address, I'll message them say, hey, I see that your birthday's coming up. I'd really love to celebrate you.
My
What's
birthday
your
is this
address?
month.
Listen.
I didn't get a message.
It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
So I do that, and I just say, hey, can I have your address? I'd really love to celebrate you. And they usually send me their address.
Who doesn't want to be celebrated? That's good. Good tips.
So,
Okay, so we're coming out of quarantine. We know you did a lot of open houses and whatnot. Are you still doing open houses? How has that lead generation shifted for you with leveraging, because that's really what it is. It's leveraging social media to build your business.
So the theory, I guess the foundation for the open houses now is pretty much the same. We still do like the Facebook Live at the open house. We've only done obviously a handful this year because we've had some listings that we didn't even get a chance to do the open house. It's just they're gone before we actually able to put on the MLS. But the ones that we have, we do the Facebook Live, we do the event still, but primarily is just focusing on getting the valid information when they come in and sign in, so that way we can actually Facebook stalk them. and friend request them. And it's kind of like, hey, check us out, things like that, and kind of a little bit more of a promo. Check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok. We're just like a fun family to work with. And so we kind of do that. Like in a little bit of a testimony, like we have this listing, we sold it already, but we had this listing. When we interviewed the family, they said they went online, they Google searched the area, they already had an agent in mind, but when they saw our page and they saw our Facebook page, they're like, no, that's the people I want to work with. We interviewed them. Literally, it was like a 10-minute, like, hey, you're real, okay, you look the way that you look like in the pictures, okay, give me the papers, I'll sign.
I love it. So I'm gonna backtrack because I have a question, and if I had this thought in my mind, I bet someone else did. So those Facebook ads that you run with the like, what do I do? The calls that you get and appointments that you book, what do those appointments look like? Because they initially clicked like, I don't know what to do with this offer. So what do those appointments look like converting? Do you have any specific thing that you say that said, yep, this is what converts it into the appointment, and what does it look like whenever you're actually there?
So I've asked them how much did Open Door actually quote you? And they usually tell me how much they've been quoted. Have you done any other offers, like OfferPad or Zillow? And if they say no, then I'm like, okay, would it be okay if I do that for you? And I present you all that information. So that almost starts creating like, oh, we're gonna meet, because I have to present you additional instant offers. And I tell them I'm gonna show you as well all the like the closing costs and all the fees attached to each offer. So I've gone to each website and I know how much each one charges, because it's all on their website for the most part.
And then they usually have the terms and conditions, and you can click on that and you can see the terms and conditions. You can maybe even go to an extra step, especially a high C, like print them all out, like, did you know there's all this fine print?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question of the previous subject. How do you find the people on Facebook with the name or phone number only? Because it's hundreds of them and it's time consuming to do that. How do you manage that?
Well,
Well, we don't find it, the Facebook ad.
yeah, so if it's from a Facebook ad, they do
I
it.
mean,
But let's say if I get someone's name, then honestly, we're just out there scrolling, because most of the time, if you search for people on Facebook, you can see the city that they live in. So if we did an open house in Arlington, and if I look at Manny Ortiz, okay, I am not going to, more than likely, you're not, that you live in Arlington, right? And if I see Manny Ortiz in Colleyville, like, probably not, right? You're not moving from Colleyville to Arlington. So we can quickly scroll through that, and then we just remember what they look like. And it's just look at their pictures, look at their family, look at something. But it's well worth the effort of just going down, scrolling, and then just messaging them, because we actually have a couple of clients that we're working with just based on that. Like, I remember what they look like, their name was common, we took the time, it took maybe like about 20 minutes to find them, and if that, right, and then.
Well, then if you have their spouse too, if you click on it, it'll say you can see who the spouse is.
Right.
Or you can even just add them on Facebook there. So if you're like, hey, our family actually does a lot of Facebook, we'd love to follow you. Hey, let me find you real fast. And then just open your phone right there and add them as a friend.
I need a QR code that says follow me on Facebook.
Right.
They scan my chest.
Question?
Yes, okay, so I just started to do a professional page. So I was putting that together, and then when it says like invite your friends to like this page, so I have like almost 1,700 on my personal. So I was like them all, I mean, send it to everybody, but it won't let me send it to everybody. It says it only can do so many at a time, or it lists it as spam. So am I gonna have to go through like and check every single one, or, you know what I mean? I don't, because I can't send it to everybody at once. That'll take a long time to individually do that.
Yeah, so you can do just per page. So it'll, instead of doing invite all, I think if I remember correctly, it's, because it's been a while, because I usually invite like 4 or 5 at this time. When at first, you did invite all, it just invites all for that one page. I think it shows maybe 20, yeah, 20, 25 names at first.
Okay. I was
to
doing
do
my
that.
phone, not on my laptop, so probably my laptop. I'll
In
see
a
that.
laptop, it'll be easier.
Yeah,
it will be.
okay.
Good question.
Okay, so at open houses, basically, I'm guessing probably everyone y'all meet, you friend them on Facebook.
Yeah,
Okay.
whether they have an agent or not.
Friend them on Facebook. If you learned anything from this class, friend them on Facebook. no joke, I literally this will go down in history, is a listing came from juicing. Juicing. I was making green juice, and these people went on Facebook and they said, I said, well, after you get the list, I'm like, how did y'all find me? I mean, I know we're in the neighborhood. She was like, well, I was looking at your page and I saw that you juiced and we juiced, so I felt like we'd work well together. I kid you not. So they want to know what you're doing. So I know sometimes there is that bold, drunk monkey that's sitting on your shoulder. It's like, I don't want people to know my personal. Well, guess what? They want to know your personal. The good thing is you don't have to divulge everything, obviously. I mean, some things we want to, keep behind closed doors, but make yourself a little personal. And if you are more on the professional side, then that's fine. You don't have to, go and do a dance video or be like me, go on a video with no makeup. But you can show yourself maybe in a less dressed down attire. What do you do on the weekends? Do you every now and then not show in perfect professional manner? So just a couple of things to think about is what is something, or you don't even have to do that, maybe post something about your children or grandchildren. So if it's like, hey, I don't want to make it about me, people love kids and pets. Sheila, you had a question?
Yeah, do y'all friend people on the other side of your transaction once it's over?
I'm scared.
Talk about the orphan client, like
the orphan clients.
Limits all about orphan clients.
Yeah, so I mail them stuff at their house of value, and then once in a while I'll come across, and yeah, it just turns out, yes, I'll just, so for the most part, if I recognize a name, because Facebook is really scary. Like if in this room, I kid you not, once we're done and you open up your Facebook, you're going to see recommended friend requests, right? And it's just gonna pop up, like if we're Facebook friends, but let's say, for example, it's gonna say, hey, recommended friend for you to actually friend request Sheila, right? Or Robbie, or something like that. It's weird like that, so.
Facebook algorithms also, if you add a new contact in your phone, so if you're at an open house and you get that person's name, phone number, add them as a contact in your phone, when you open Facebook, it's gonna recommend them to be your friend. Because Facebook has already paired their phone number that they've put in, and that you've saved it in your phone as a contact.
So if you have, for example, the other side of the transaction's agent, and then their friend request, you may actually get a little recommended of their client. Yes?
It was the Lord sent it to me.
Thank you, Jesus.
Okay. So what is your advice to someone that's looking to use social, well, let me get a temperature of the room. Who currently uses social media, or let's say 25% active on social media? Who would say they're 50% active? About 50. Okay, what about 75% active?
I would say that we are.
You're pretty active. Okay, so most of us would say we're probably about like roughly 25% active on Facebook. Right? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. So, do what?
You get on every day,
Well, like actively using it for like business and stuff too.
just to keep in track, but I try to do what you always say is don't post listings, and I just sold it like yesterday.
I saw your post the other
Yes,
day.
I try to make, what am I doing? I'm sweating and I look disgusting. Here's a couple of posts I can do. So I try to make it towards people are gonna comment on it, not just I have a listing. So,
Yeah, your posts are so funny.
yeah,
like,
I
you're
try to
good.
think of something that's not just.
You
here's
and
a
Tim
listing.
are always getting into trouble.
Yes, well, I was just thinking about, I want to put my kids in some stuff next weekend.
So what would be your advice to someone that's looking to use social media to leverage their business? And it might be to leverage time to, we all have leads that's hard to follow up with, and then you find a couple of months down the road they sold their home or bought the home and didn't use you. How frustrating is that? So how can you use social media to maybe leverage some of that follow-up and staying in touch, and then maybe get new leads? What would be your advice?
Well, I don't know if Facebook does the whole friends or like the list anymore. Ludwin used to have it. It does. Ludwin used to have all of our hot prospects into lists on Facebook. So you would just click that.
We talked about that at the class. That's what they're referring back to. And you have to do it on your desktop. I don't think it
Yes.
allows you to do it on your phone. So
That's why I
that's
don't
what
see it on
she's
my phone.
referring back to.
So we do that. So every time we go on that little list thing, you just all your hot prospects, and I just like and circle, like I heart everything that they post, or I'll comment.
Yeah.
Just everything that goes on, I heart it. If it comes up in my stories, you heart it. Just like there's top of mind, right? Because some people like to look at who's viewing their stuff. Let's see, what else do we do?
So I guess the advice would be just focus on one thing, one platform, right? If you're gonna do TikTok, do TikTok. If you're gonna do Instagram, do Instagram. If you're gonna do Facebook, do Facebook. Facebook is a little bit more advantageous because obviously you do the ads and it's more cohesive, from ads to personal, things like that. But honestly, for us, it's just been, if you take a look at our personal pages and our business page, it's very similar. Obviously, business is business, but we actually have the fun of real estate in our business page, right? And then on our personal page, it's just the fun of life, like with our kids, what we're doing, things like that. So it's all about the fun for us, even though it takes a lot of work to get there, right? I mean, we have videos out there with us and the kids. It's like literally like a 10-second video, but it took us an hour to get there, right? A couple of like kicks and screams and things like that, and like come over here. Like,
We need to see the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
That's your next video, is the behind the scenes to making a perfect TikTok.
You know, like, yeah, the behind the scenes, yeah, it's fun. At the end of the day, they're laughing, people are watching, and that's, again, it's really honestly we're focusing on this mind shift. Market share is actually coming. I mean, we have right now, what do we have, like about 15? We have 15, out of those 15, we have 8 actual clients, a couple of them are closing this month, and then the rest of them are just prospecting, they're hot prospects. I mean, we're actively looking, they're searching, they're working on savings, but we're willing, if we actually find them a house, they're all closing by the end of this year. And this is just social media, right? This is just that. And then after that, it's just continuing building the database.
I think it's just whatever you're doing at the moment, try to take a picture of it or try to take a video of it. If you don't wanna say something, then just put some music background on it. It's really easy right now, like on Instagram, you just mute your background sound of the video and just add any music you want to it. And people love that. I remember we first started out mainly was doing how-to videos with the kids, and they were like 4 years ago, and we were selling our house at the time, so I just made videos, how to pack your house with kids, how to make your house like showing ready, and we had painted like a little family tree on one wall, so we showed the girls actually painting it and covering it down, and taking all the pictures and like covering all like the little holes that the frames make. And but they made that whole, like, we made the video and they were talking and it took us like 3 hours because like you had to script it. I'm like, okay, say one sentence, say another sentence.
The cue cards, you know? Like, read this.
But now it's a little easier with them, but whatever you're doing, just take a picture of it. People want to know like everything that you're doing all day long. And then with posts, there's content manager. So Facebook has a little content manager. So if you're like, let's say watching TV at night, just prepare like 2 or 3 different posts and have them already prepped and scheduled out for the whole month. Like one a week. And have it already timed and scheduled ahead of time on Facebook and they'll just post automatically. There's also different like Etsy sells social media posts already designed for you. You can buy them on Etsy and just download them.
That's right up my alley.
And download them, and you can just advertise them, like personalize them a little bit, add your logo, and then you just schedule them in. And there's this website called Selling on Socials. It's I think $35 a month, and they give you everything for your posts. For Facebook and Instagram, they give you stories, like all your little stories, and they let you personalize it, and they even give you what to say. They give you your caption, and they give you your hashtags as well. What's that called? Selling on Socials.
Socials with an S.
Mm-hmm.
Selling on socials. I don't have a whiteboard, or I'd write it down.
Yeah, so that was like $35 a month.
Matt, what is the easiest video editor program for basic editing?
I only use Instagram.
Okay,
In Instagram stories, you make your videos on Instagram stories.
but you don't edit them or anything, you just let them go?
You edit them on Instagram.
Oh, you do edit them there,
You can save it.
okay.
You save it, you add your little captions on Instagram. The Reels, it's a lot easier to do it.
REE.
REEL.
There's something
I
else.
think half a month,
What?
you do half a month,
Thank
use
you.
iMovie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Like I just made one in the car.
Yeah, so if you follow us on Instagram, things like that, and you think it's all Instagram.
So that's like when you're on your story, you're talking about the reels over here.
Yeah, the reel's right there. So then
You can't see this, y'all. But if you open up your, okay,
I wish we could put it up on the.
I know, right?
Social sites.
So you go to your. Because if you know if you can do it, then I can show them real fast. He knows everything.
Aren't they such a great team, y'all? Has this been helpful? It's a lot that's thrown in right now, huh? I would say if you pick up anything from this class, even if it's not all of this, add people to your Facebook, your personal page, add friends. It's one of the best things that you can do.
So I have a question. I've heard in some of the other classes, like you should only post like one post a day, maybe two or something like that. But it sounds like from what you're doing a lot more than that. I heard if you do more than one or two.
I don't think you do. She doesn't.
I don't do a lot.
Really?
No, it feels overwhelming because it's every day. So like every
It's
story.
still one a day.
Okay.
Great. You said that you add them to a campaign after you do all the social media stuff. What kind of campaigns do you add them to? So we have
Our CRM has their own. I'll talk to that. So we do have a CRM that we use, and we actually created our drip campaigns. Some of it was just incorporated from the CRM, so she made it her own, and we made it our own, changed some language, photos, logos, but it's just your basic hello, like we are the Flores, love, it's not really about the campaign. They're getting something, obviously, an email, but for the most part, it's really just us on social media and just texting them, calling them, iMessaging them on Facebook Messenger, things like that. So, I mean, that's really where the communication is, not so much the drip campaign, at least for us.
That's good. Well, I'll let him see if we can connect to the phone, because a lot of it's on the app. Meanwhile, I'm gonna grab our lunch sponsor and let him say hi. Her colleagues. So while he's doing, what ahas do we have? Ahas, questions. I'm gonna be like, Dustin, give me some.
Oh, I've got a aha. I am so good at using my grandkids to help on videos.
Yeah. Okay, so when I go on Instagram,
Well, we're gonna need to buy some cakes to help us.
Do you have pets?
Oh, I have a German Shepherd.
There you go. People love pets. If you don't have kids, if you have pets.
Well, we have kids.
Check me out. Check me out.
Boom, if you ain't awake, you up. So if you don't, just to throw out ideas, if you don't have kids, you don't have pets, a couple of things that people love is they love gardening. Gardening's a good one. Yeah, juicing. Juicing, people love juicing. Fashion, people always love clothes. Basically, I mean, think about stuff that's on cooking. People love to watch like how-to cooking videos. Ask yourself, what do you like? Because whatever you like, probably your friends like, and those are probably the people you're doing business with. So what are things other than real estate that you enjoy? Do you like exercising? People like exercising. Vacationing, eating. Yeah, eating with the cooking, vacationing, things like that. So, okay, we ready?
Yeah. Or you can
She's
rent
gonna
our
show
kids,
some-
they're trained.
Oh, yeah.
They're trained.
okay, so what I usually do, I go on my reels and whatever video I like.
So, what did you click on? Because did you go too fast?
So
Oh,
in your Instagram.
So she's clicking on this button right here,
on
the
your
middle
Instagram,
one.
there's like a little film,
Okay.
like a little play button, and that's called Reels.
REELS. This is her Instagram.
So I click here.
I know, I'm just saying.
Bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow. Check me out. Check me out. Boom, bam, bam, bop, bada bop, boom.
Okay? So
Pow.
let's say I like that. Okay, you're gonna click
Check
the
me out,
audio.
check me out,
Okay, so now you're gonna have that audio.
check me out, check me out.
So then she's clicking at the top, save audio.
You're gonna have
And then she saved it.
Bada bop, boom.
Then on the bottom it says use audio.
Down here, it was use audio was down there.
So now my audio is selected to make this real. Here, I'm gonna do, hold on, I like the effects. 'Cause
You and Danny.
Check me out.
So in the bottom, there's like a little disc playing where the music. Click on the name of the audio, and that'll pop up.
So she's just giving her a filter. So you don't have to do this, it's extra. Oh, hey girl.
Check me out, check me out. Boom, bam, bam, bop, bada bop.
So, sort of like that, right?
How do you know, I'm so confused, how do you know how to do that?
Well, that's why we're teaching you. We're teaching you. So like, go. You might need to go back.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you saved the audio for that other one.
Yeah,
this
sure.
is the audio. So
So
you
the-
sort of have to hear it once or twice to know
Yeah.
like what the cues, like what the audio is.
Because it's a, yes you will. Do you memorize songs? I guarantee you can sing a 3-minute song. Can you sing Amazing Grace?
That's right.
You can remember 10 seconds. Now you gotta probably repeat it. That's why it's a repetitive. So you'll sit there probably for a couple minutes and learning, okay, it's a probably not even a 10-second clip. And so you learn, you memorize really fast what that quick clip is, and then you can repeat it because you know it's 10 seconds. So I want us to keep a positive mind frame, because if we all can remember the national anthem or saying the Pledge of Allegiance, we can remember 10 seconds. So
They're gonna do it one more time. Then they're gonna click effects. Okay. There you go.
Check me out, check me out. Boom, bam, bam, bop, bada bop, boom.
So, so this is all about the choreography, not so much the music or anything like that.
and you pick whatever you want. So you can pick.
So what she's doing, she's typing in whatever it is that she wants to say, and the whole gimmick is she's pointing at that object, and she's gonna just come up like almost like a slideshow.
So you just steal it from somebody?
Yeah.
And that's all it is. That's all that is.
It's not stealing. It's that's TikTok. TikTok is it's one audio that millions of people use and make a different version of it.
Okay.
It's creative copy.
Bada bop, boom.
Okay, so let's say now
Check
you
me out,
have
check me out.
text, right? But you don't want it to
Bam.
you don't want it to show up until your finger's pointing at it, right? So on the bottom, there's
We're getting a little technical.
Yeah.
right here,
We just need to have an instrument class.
There you go,
Yeah.
there you go.
Last week.
right there, you pick when you want that text to show. So you sort of point it for when your finger's pointing at. And then
Once you do a couple of hundred, it'll become easy.
You're welcome, Cindy. She's like, this is how you edit it. So how about we show them the video that you sent me for this class. So she went through this series because basically, can you pull that up on your phone real fast? So the video that she had, so once it's done and completed, it will look like what they
so I
said.
actually did another one of that one.
Okay.
This-
But that's how she edited it and made it in. And we'll have to do a separate class to actually walk through
And if you
step by
click the
step.
sound,
That's
you can
cute.
see all the different people that have done the same thing.
Yeah, so you're not stealing. You're kind of creative.
So you can just make it your own. So a lot of people do,
Right? Where does she go?
so a lot of people do like do cute videos like for makeup, for selling, who knows what. But if you like it, just try to think of it, how can I change this video and make it fit what I'm trying to do? Like if it's selling a house, if it's doing home buyers, or if it's doing listings, how can I put this information? If she's pointing to 5 things, what do I need to say in 5 little terms? Or,
So
so obviously you make it an Instagram, then you pull it over into Facebook?
Yeah, so once you post it on Instagram, then you can download it, save the video to camera roll, and then you can post the same video to TikTok, and you post the same video to your Facebook stories, or you post it as an actual post on Facebook.
So Instagram is easier than TikTok to do the whole effects and editing
So you make it there, but then you can use it
everywhere.
to post it other places. But we'll maybe do another, well, do y'all want another class of just literally someone's phone plugged in?
Yes.
Yes, so if we schedule that, you'll all come?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we'll have to do another one down. Well, I'm going to let our lunch sponsors chat for a second.
Hi everyone, I see some familiar faces here. It's so nice to be back in the office and get to see people live and not on Zoom. Although I did have to put a dress on where I could put but anyway, I'm Andrea Kolakowskis. I'm with First American Title in Southlake, and this is Judy Kilpatrick. She's with our Southlake West branch. I'm in the Southlake East branch. We're so happy to be hosting today, and we're just going to take a few minutes of your time because we realize that we're staying between you and lunch.
Yeah, we want to eat the pizza while it's hot, right?
But we have a ton of resources at First American. A lot of you know about some of them already and are our customers, and thank you for that. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today is our print program. We have an amazing program called FA Print, and some of the best things about it are the quality of the brochures and things you can produce. And while you're at lunch, we'll pass some samples around at the stations. But you can do these nice 4-color brochures for 63 cents, and that's no minimum. So you can order 10. You know how houses are flying out the door these days. And then if you have leftovers, you can put them in your listing packets to show how you're going to market people's homes. So we can produce nice postcards. We have flyers. The flyers are 14 cents each. Again, no minimum. And you can create a PDF for email marketing too for no cost. So it's an amazing resource. I mean, I go on and on about our different products. We have door hangers, labels, greeting cards. And to get an account, all you need to do is sign up on the sheet that's passing around, and we'll reach out to you afterwards, and we can set you up a free account and give you a demonstration and show you how to use it. But they usually come within 3 business days, but sometimes we can get them faster. So it's a good turnaround time. But agents, right now they're scrambling for different ways to get buyers, to get people to go, to sell their houses. The inventories are so low that we have some really creative resources for you to get down and try to get some more business for yourself. So we would love the opportunity to share these with you, and Judy's going to talk about one more resource we have.
Hey, I'm Judy Kilpatrick, and I started First American when COVID hit in February, so I don't recognize anybody's faces because I've been homebound. So it's good to see faces again. So I'm going to tell you a couple other things, and if you're planning on having an open house, we've got these awesome open house boxes. They have feedback cards in them, registries, any kind of city flyers. I've got Fort Worth, Colleyville, Grapevine. I've got the DFW school rankings, the private schools, the new tax rates, just a lot of plethora of information. What I normally do is either I'll meet up with you guys or I'll go place them on the front porch for your clients to set stuff out. If you're not having an open house, it comes in a packet. So that way when they have their buyers walking through, it's great for the out-of-town buyers that seem to be, taking over here. So another resource that we have is a new listing questionnaire. So when you're going on a listing appointment, we have these right here. Shannon loves these to be filled out just because it's kind of the uncomfortable questions. You can just leave this with your client, like there's a divorce, has there been, any liens, just some of the things you might not want to talk to them face to face. Just leave this behind and you can pick it back up. And that way they can kind of look and kind of give you a heads up on if there's going to be any flaws or, any kind of trouble with the title. So one more thing, we do have buyer and seller packets. So if you're going on a buyer's appointment or selling, we do have those packets at the office as well. So, and I know y'all been sitting in meetings long enough, so I'm done. So just give Andrea and I a call. We'd be happy to meet you guys.
And if you want to learn more, get a free open house kit or some of our just sign up on that sheet and we'll follow back up with you.
And I want to learn how to do that TikTok.
Yeah, I'm
Right? Y'all want to come to a class?
Yeah.
I know, right? Well, thank y'all. So questions, if they sign up on that sheet for the printing information and open house information, and then that way y'all can arrange, because some folk, we're still doing some open houses.
Well, you know, people like to go just to get the buyers in space. That's the reason. I'm gonna drop these listing questionnaires. I'll give
Well,
y'all-
let's thank First American Title, and can we thank Ludwin and Margie? Was that helpful? She's already sitting down. Margie said, don't put me up in front of the crowd.
Okay, so I think we, just one last thing, for those high C people, we do have numbers for you, actual numbers, I think it was asked. So, right, I have to say it, because it's my numbers. Yeah, so right now, for the past 7 months, just on social media, because we keep track of that stuff, right now we actively working 15 clients, 800.
50 or 15?
15.
1-5.
Yeah, 1-5, mostly buyers. Anyways, bless them. 8 under contract, and so right now we have about 2.2 million from social media alone.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, not bad for just doing din, 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 din. So, love you. But yeah, but just like we just, yeah.
So we do have to learn it, obviously, and you don't have to go straight to the videos. So that's one thing that they have done, because their kids probably enjoy learning and all that stuff. So you might say videos are not for me, so probably let's not go to the video class. But if there's other things, there's a plethora of things that you can do on social media, even if it's, you know, Darren Davis, he's not here, I wish he was. When he has a closing every time, anyone who follows Darren, what does Darren post? Exactly. So it's social media is all about consistency, doing honestly one thing all the time. So their one thing is the TikTok videos. Darren's is a bow tie. If you think about other folks, they all have their thing. So spend some time, think about what is your one thing. What is one thing? I think of oh my gosh, Bill and Pat Evans. Pat posts about her German Shepherds and quilting. And that's, whenever I think of a German Shepherd, I automatically think of them. So what is your one thing that might be drawing folks to you? And then, oh yeah, by the way, I sell real estate. Don't leave with real estate. It's, by the way, this is what I do. Alrighty, well, we are 2 minutes past. I'm pretty excited. Before we release the ahas, what ahas do we have? Questions, comments, like, I need to go do this today.
I'm gonna friend my neighbors.
Friend your neighbors.
I know.
Friend your neighbors. Friend your neighbors. What else?
Yeah, like, because I hired a company to do my Facebook post, but they are all about business. So I love the idea of making more personal. We have been talking about that. I love the idea.
You can even make it, what is it like working with your spouse? Doesn't have to be about real estate. What are some of the fun things about working with your spouse? Things like that. Alrighty, y'all. We have on. Friend all of your leads. I love it. I love it. Well, thank y'all for coming in, and continue giving us feedback for what you like and what you're needing in your business, because that's our #1 goal, is to make sure that we're giving as much as we can to keep y'all striving, because you're already winners, right? So we just gotta keep on winning. Alrighty, go ahead and feel free. You can grab food, eat in here. You can leave. It doesn't matter. We don't have another class after this, so you're good to stay and work if you like. All right, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Great. Thank y'all for lunch. Thank you.